What is going on, you guys? My name is Rage and we are back today with a beginner video guide for you all on the upcoming event here.
Taking a look at the Shadow of Deathpool event that's upcoming here, as you can see, starting actually tomorrow. And this is a great opportunity because this is one of the best ways in the game to actually get character shards, especially given how meta-breaking Deathpool will be with their new Warriors team that's upcoming here. And it's going to be absolutely valuable for those who are especially interested in raids. But she's going to open up the dynamic in terms of the different Mystic teams that you can put together as well. That being said, if you hit preview on the event, you can see that this is actually classified into 3 different stages. And the good news for you guys, if you're familiar with these events, is that if you're able to jump straight to medium or hard, it already does unlock the medium. And what you ideally want to do is, it's very similar to campaign. It's going to open up a series of different nodes, and essentially you get through the nodes, and then once you're able to actually complete them with the 3 stars, you are actually able to farm them. But as you can see, the only difference between hard, medium, easy is that for this final one, it actually does require 5 devoted character classifications. So you bet we'll take a look at some of the character combinations there, provide some value there, but I'm going to walk you guys through the strategy in terms of how we can maximize the shards overall here. Generally, though, the goal is to aim for hard, completing all the nodes in hard, and then continually farming those nodes for the next 2 weeks here once the event begins. So if you hit the little eye here, you can see the recommendation overall. They say that level 60, gear tier level 9, and ability level 5 is the recommendation to actually get this done. I found that when you have a total team power of anywhere from 150 to 180,000, especially with 5 characters being level 60, that generally gets the job done for myself. So just a heads up, if you guys wanted some sort of power level combination there, that's generally what's key. And even if you guys aren't interested in Deathpool overall as a character, keep in mind, this is actually one of the best ways to farm for new orbs that actually give you more shards, especially if you're a newer player, especially if you're a player transitioning to the mid game or prepping for the late game. So if you hit the orbs here in the supply store, you can see that this is the actual devoted orb we're going to get access to. So right now, you see I have 0 out of 2,000 fragments, and that's normal because the event obviously hasn't started. By hitting the little eye, we're actually able to get a sneak peek here of the characters that can also be unlocked next to Deathpool. So by hitting the little eye, we scroll to the bottom for being the common shard drops, and we can take a look. There's some pretty notable characters in here. We have Beast, we have actually Colleen Wing, Misty Knight, her ally also is in here. And if we scroll down, you can see Hella being a very notable character, especially if you're newer to the game. She's going to provide some amazing value. Misty Knight, as I mentioned, Red Skull's great as well, and then obviously you can't forget Deathpool being the main attraction here. So I mean, overall, a very good mixture here in terms of transitioning to the mid and late game to help you out. And then just overall, I think I would recommend this because even if you weren't interested in Deathpool, at least you can kind of build up your shards for different characters as well. And especially with it being already kind of interchanging and aligned with farming naturally for these shards. That being said, you guys, if you take a look at my screenshot here, I was able to actually input this in my Rage MSF guides and resources, which is available in the link in the description below. But you can see here that my track record here is that generally with any of the ranks achieved, anytime we actually refresh our power cores for 4 times by 50, so what that is just refreshing for the additional energy, and then continuing farming using that energy. So it's not refreshing the nodes, it's only for the new campaign energy that we utilize. And you can see consistently we've been actually able to hit 4 yellow whenever we do the 4 times 50. The only time I actually went beyond that was actually for Kestrel, as you can see on May 7th when the date began. And what I did for her was I did the 4 times for 50 as well as the 4 times for 100. So you can see the total power cores there was actually 8,400 power cores over the span of 2 weeks. And that's something else to be mindful too, right? This is the 2-week total, so you don't need this right now from the beginning. You're going to be accumulating power cores as you go. So just to give you a relative sense, that means if you want to aim anywhere here from my track record, anywhere from a 4 yellow to 5 consistently, I would actually highly recommend doing both the 50s and the 100s for refreshes. But otherwise, if you want to comfortably sit around 4 yellow, you can see with this track record, generally the 50 core refreshes were good enough. So I mean that's really good target already, especially if you got a decent red. That being said, you guys, that's my overall strategy there. So again, it's gonna be similar to refreshing your campaign energy, except it will be with the new campaign event, and then it's hitting that little lightning bolt in the top right and actually just refreshing it. So keep that in mind if you are interested in actually farming for more shards. Otherwise, I did want to quickly dive into the roster here too, because you can see that with those 5 devoted characters that are going to be required in the hard difficulty, you can see we actually get a great combination of characters. So I think many players in the game will have Moondragon 5 level already leveled up just due to the fact of the Infinity Watch. But what happens if you guys are newer to the game and you don't have them? We can go through some characters. You know, with Shuri here, she provides immense protection. She's got the defense up and healing, and she is actually a permanent legendary event now. So hopefully you guys have her unlocked, with the Sinister 6 being quite available, especially over the next 2 weeks here. She can provide a lot of protection, pushing your team up. Another great combination I do see potentially is actually Thor and Hella being part of the Asgardians team. So the beautiful thing about having those two is that whenever Hella does get attacked, Thor's going to build charges and he can retaliate with his strikes. I see a couple of combinations of X-Men here with Beast and Colossus, but to be honest with you, we don't have really any of the big hitters, so I wouldn't recommend those two just because they're more defensive characters. Beast is nice because he does provide some protection and cleansing, but he really shines with Astonishing X-Men and the Uncanny. So if you don't have them, you know, I don't think he adds a lot of value. Moving down here, we got good characters here actually in terms of being able to kind of be suited in a more of an all-rounded role, and that can be like Magneto. Magneto, if you have him unlocked, he can provide blind that can actually protect your team for a little bit, especially from turn 1. He's actually one of the fastest characters in the game, so he can implement that right away. We also got a great character in Red Skull where he can summon clones to take up damage. He's got some decent AoE damage, and as well, he also is able to apply a defense down when needed. So, I mean, he would be a good combination, and just to kind of well-round your team as well. You see, we got the combination of the Rocket, Raccoon, and Groot as part of the Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm not sure if you guys have them built up, but I mean, you can see just even around level 60, 61, they're around 40 to 45k. So, I mean, also a well-rounded character overall if you have that mixture and combination. If you guys have your X-Force built up, Cable and Deathpool, Deadpool, the original one, they're both a great combination to have together as well, and you can definitely utilize that. Otherwise here, as you can see, I think a lot of players may not have actually the new secret adventures built up. So you can see they are actually all available. So Captain Sam, Sharon Carter, Maria Hill, they all would be able to be extremely valuable if you have them built up. I'm currently working on them right now, but as you can see, that in my opinion is probably some of the best characters in this roster. I also see that combination here of Vision and Scarlet Witch, but although they have synergies together, they don't actually do a lot of damage, and Vision and Scarlet Witch are definitely more defensively minded. So we don't have the great mixture here in terms of damage overall, but hopefully that gives you guys a sense. For sure, I highly would recommend Thor, Hella, perhaps a combination of the Infinity Watch, and then as well as Shuri for kind of rounding out the team, especially with her defensive capabilities. So hope that gives you guys some insight in terms of a sample team that you can use. But for sure, use the best characters that you have overall as strong as possible, right, and work through it. So hope this video is able to help you guys, give you some ideas here in terms of what to prepare, how to prepare for it. And again, keep in mind, we want to take advantage of this event overall because, again, it is just one of the best ways to get character shards in the game, and especially if you remember how powerful Kestrel was. So thank you as always, you guys. Do appreciate you checking my videos, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.